In this video, I'm sharing my favorite foods for multi-day hikes, what I cook while wild camping, and how I pack light without missing out on good meals. So when it comes to hiking, food is really important to me. I basically hike just so that I can have good food with good views. So that's kind of been my hiking philosophy ever since the beginning. So I'm going to show you what I usually bring for breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks when I'm hiking and camping in the mountains. And also things to keep in mind when you're choosing the food and how to pack them. Let's start with choosing the food. So when I'm choosing the food for hiking, it needs to be three things: lightweight, easy to prepare, and calorie dense. I always think about the calories versus weight ratio. So you want to have a lot of calories, but you don't want to carry the weight of it. So that's why these dehydrated foods are a really great option. I also make sure that every day I get enough of carbs, fats, and protein. So there needs to be a balance between all those three. Also, the food needs to survive without a fridge. So dehydrated, freeze-dried, and cured items, those are my favorite options. And then easy preparation. So ideally, I just want to pour hot water on the food and that's it. But sometimes you still need to make a little effort to actually cook something because you do want to have a good food. You want to make something that is tasty and comforting. And if you are camping on a long distance hike, you also want to think about the cooking time and how much gas is it going to take. And let's move on to breakfast. So I always like to start my day with a nice hot meal. So usually I cook oats, I make a porridge, and to add flavor, I would use these single serve jams, which are very compact, they are easy to carry, and there are many different flavors available. Or another version would be to add some dried fruit, for example, dried figs, apricot, or apple. And to spice it up, I would use some cinnamon and nutmeg. And if I'm feeling fancy, I would use chia seeds. Those are also a good way to add some bulk to the porridge. So if you make the porridge a bit watery, and then you add the chia seeds, the chia, it would absorb the water and make it more like bulky. And I always use oat flakes just because they are super fast to cook. You could basically just pop them in the hot water and let it soak like under the cover for a few minutes, and then there you go, you have a porridge. So that way you don't use too much gas. And then coffee. My morning coffee is super important. And that's the coffee is my favorite things to have on a hike. So I always carry these pouches of cappuccino with me. And then, it's very easy. You just mix it with water and there you go, you have a coffee. If I don't want to cook anything in the morning, or if I don't have time to prepare anything, I would just have like a power bar with some nuts and dried fruits. But the coffee still I would need. I would still make the effort to boil some water for my coffee. Let's move on to lunch. Usually you're on the move during lunchtime, so it's important to keep it simple. Like, I don't want to get the cooker out for lunch. So I would rely on power bars, nuts and dried fruits. Another good option would be to carry some tortillas, and then you can wrap them around with some cheese or some cured meat, some chorizo, for example. Because the tortillas, they are very good. They will last forever in the backpack, and they're very compact and they don't dry out. Another strategy for our lunches would be to eat out. So that would be basically the mountain huts you're going to pass through, or if you're going to go through some little villages where they have some cafe or bakeries. So this is also important to kind of do your research and to see what sort of options there are along the trail. However, I usually prefer to enjoy my lunches and snacks in the quiet solitude of the mountains. I like to eat when there is no one else around and I have a beautiful view in front of me. Sometimes, even though I'm not hungry, but if there is an amazing view, I'm just gonna stop there and eat. Just because, the view deserves a break. And let's talk about dinners. The easiest option would be freeze-dried meals. They are super easy to prepare, and you just pour hot water and you stir, and then you close the bag and you wait about 10 minutes. And then there you have it. It's a delicious meal. And the best thing is there's no cleanup. You just need to carry the trash. However, these bags, they are a bit pricey. They are usually 10, 13 euros per bag. Another option would be to buy these bags of pasta that it is like a ready meal. You just need to cook it. And there are all types of different pasta, like pasta carbonara or like risottos as well. The only downside is that you need to cook them easy like 10 minutes or even more. So you will end up using quite a bit of gas. But they are quite cheap, just a few euros a package. And they are quite compact and kind of lightweight. So if you are carrying a lot of gas, it would be a cheap option to make a dinner. And sometimes I like to cook a homemade meal. So I have two recipes that are very easy to make. For the first one, you would have to buy this like a vegetable soup, some couscous and chorizo. So I usually get this vegetable soup and then I would boil it in the pot, and once it's done, I would add some couscous and chop some chorizo on it. So these powder soups, they are a really good option because they are super lightweight, it's easy to prepare. So from one bag, you usually get like 1 liter of soup. So you could easily make 2 or 3 dinners with it. And chorizo is a really good option, especially when it's the like a Spanish chorizo, because that one is already, it's cured. So it's ready to eat. You don't need to cook it. You can just chop it and it's ready to go. And the chorizo, it has protein, fats and flavor. So it has all the good stuff that you need when you are hiking in the mountains. And couscous, it's super compact. You just add it in the hot water and let it soak, let it absorb, and there you have it. You don't really need to cook it. And the second recipe would be potato puree with tomato sauce and chorizo. So you could get these bags of instant potato. So you basically just pour some hot water on the potato flour in a way, and then you get a potato puree. And then I would buy a tomato soup, but I wouldn't make a soup out of it. I would just kind of use half the water that it says on the recipe just to make it like more like a sauce. And then I would chop some chorizo on it. And always check the cooking time. So you don't want to be wasting 20 minutes of gas just to make a one risotto. And if you are collecting the water from the nature, usually it's freezing cold, so it takes time for it to boil. To finish the day, I always like to make an evening tea. I love those moments when you are in your tent, you're snuggled in your sleeping bag, and you have this hot cup of tea. So that is like a very nice ritual for me to finish my day. And snacks. Power bars are the most common things I always carry with me. There are a lot of different brands and flavors. For years, I used to eat a lot of Cliff bars, but then a few years ago, I discovered Santa Madre, and I've been eating their power bars ever since. And they are the real winner just because of the texture of the bars. Like, they are not dry, and that's what I love about them. And also they have really fun flavors like apple pie, carrot cake, cheesecake. And another thing I like to prepare are these homemade trail mixes. I usually do 2 versions. So one of them is natural cashews with dried cranberries, and another one is natural almonds with dark chocolate. And the last thing for snacks are energy gels. So this is something I picked up from running. So when you're running long distances, you need some carbs and energy to keep running. So I take these energy gels while running. However, a few years ago, I started taking these gels with me on a hike, and they work super well. Like, they give this like really good boost of energy, especially when you're climbing. So I always kind of save these gels like for the climbs. And these energy gels, they are basically just carbs, but they are carbs that are easy for your body to digest while you're on the move. Some of them might have some caffeine as well for extra kick, and also sodium for like hydration. And lastly, don't forget to treat yourself. For me, it's really important to carry some really good treats, like some chocolates, candy, licorice, or some cookies. They give you like a proper moral boost. If you're having a hard day or the weather is terrible, it's raining, you're cold, so at the end of the day, you kind of want to have something nice. So I just love having some little chocolates with my coffee, when you're having when you're having a little break somewhere with a beautiful view, having a little coffee, and then have some chocolates or candy. Like, those are the moments I hike for. So don't forget to pack some cookies or chocolates, whatever you like. And don't think about the weight. Like, these treats, they are worth it. They're worth carrying those extra grams. A few things to keep in mind when packing the food. So for me, Ziploc bags are my best friend. Like, I put everything in Ziploc bags. I buy these different sizes from IKEA and they're super great. Like, they never fail. You know, I never leak any like oats or anything in my backpack. So I would measure everything. Like, if I'm hiking for 7 days, I need like 7 breakfasts. I would measure all my oats for 7 days. And that's what I would carry. Or if I'm carrying like chocolates or just any snacks, I would just always organize all the food in these Ziploc bags. Things I would avoid is cans. I would never carry cans. So usually these canned foods, they contain some sort of liquid. And for me, liquid is heavy. I don't want to carry it. So cans, I wouldn't carry. Also because they create like really bulky trash. So you still need to carry the empty cans away. And they're just like, you know, you can't like squish them or anything. So they're a bit annoying to carry with you. So that's pretty much what I eat when I'm hiking and camping in the mountains. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite trail snack or camping meal? I would love to hear from you. If you want more hiking content, don't forget to subscribe.